another edition of Showtime, and I'm your host, Bill Asbury. Well, the city government of Davao will start implementing the mandatory use of the Safe Davao QR system, known as the DQR, among residents and non-city residents beginning November 7 of this year. The Safe Davao QR is a platform created by the local government to help expedite contact tracing and enforce the prohibition on non-essential travel. All residents and non-residents of Davao City are required to secure your unique and permanent DQR to travel around the city of Davao. Those who plan to enter the city will also need to secure a DQR. The city government, through a public advisory posted on their official Facebook page, announced the start of the DQR registration period, which began at 5 p.m. on Saturday, October 31, and will continue through November 7th, the deadline in which you need to be registered. The local government officially gave the link where you can secure your own QR code, and I provided that link especially for you down in the comments section. Now, the DQR link for individuals will be open to all who need to move around the city of Davao to work, to conduct business, to access goods and essential services, and that's according to the Davao City Government Advisory. To register through the link, you must present a clear photo of your entire face facing the camera, a clear photo of your valid identification card, that's right, of your ID or birth certificate, a clear photo of your face beside your valid ID or birth certificate, valid mobile phone number, and a valid email address. Let me go over that again. So you're going to need a clear photo facing the camera of your face. You're going to also need a clear photo of your identification card, and you're going to need a clear photo of that identification card with you holding it next to your face. All right, those three photos, you're going to need those before you can even get started with the registration process. You're also going to need a valid mobile phone number and a valid email address. Now, you're probably wondering what kind of IDs will be honored by the QR system. That's a good question, and thank you for asking that. The following IDs will be accepted: a social security system / government service insurance card, insurance system, unified multi-purpose identification card, a land transportation office driver's license. What about the students? Good question. Now, a student permit may be accepted if it's in card format. Professional Regulatory Commission ID is also accepted. Overseas Workers Welfare Administration, Integrated Department of Labor and Employment card, Commission on Elections Voters ID, or voters certification from the election officer with a dry seal. Philippine National Police firearms license, senior citizen ID, airman license issued August 2016 and onwards. In other words, if it's before 2016, it is not good enough. It has to be dating back to at least August 2016 onwards. Philippine Postal ID issued November 2016 and onwards will be accepted. A school ID, your passport, and in the absence of a valid ID, PSA copy of a birth certificate. Davao City residents who do not have a valid ID nor birth certificate may apply for their DQR at the nearest police station, while non-Davao City residents who do not have a valid ID or birth certificate must first get these requirements before you can register for a DQR. Employers should assist their workers who do not know how to go online or do not own a smartphone. The registration of DQR links for establishments was officially opened at 10 a.m. on Sunday, November 1st. Establishment owners will register in the same link for individuals. City government employees who participated in the pilot testing of the DQR last week will need to secure a new DQR. For further queries and additional information on the DQR, the city government reminded the public to refer to their concerns to their official Facebook pages, City Government of Davao and Safe Davao QR on Facebook. The city government also reminded the public not to post or share their personal QR code to avoid identity theft. Now, the public is also warned not to access any other link except the one the city government provided. DQR is free of charge and will not require any credit card nor bank details. That is very important here. And we're talking about not sharing your QR code, making sure that you register on the correct link. If you get onto a link and they're asking you for your bank details or your credit card number, it's a scam. You're on the wrong link. So I want to repeat that. DQR is free of charge and will not require any credit card nor any bank details whatsoever. Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte Carpio said the DQR is in response to the continuing rising of the COVID-19 cases in the city of Davao, attributing to the lessening of some quarantine restrictions since the city shifted to modified general community quarantine. Now, Duterte Carpio added that the system is in replacement of the food and medicine pass as a means to regulate the movement of the public. Now, bear in mind, why is this happening? Well, this might shed some light on it. A total of 101 COVID-19 fatalities were recorded in October in the Davao region, the most number of recorded deaths in a month since the pandemic hit the region in March this year, according to the Department of Health Davao Region, Department of Health Davao. Based on DOH Davao's COVID-19 reported deaths per month, deaths started to surge in July, the month when the entire region shifted to modified general community quarantine, MGCQ. Now, the lowest quarantine status imposed by the International Task Agency Force on emerging infectious diseases, otherwise known as IATF-EID. In July, the region recorded 15 deaths, while August recorded 19 deaths, 27 in September, and 101 just last month in October. In October, it can be noticed that almost every day, the region recorded an average death of 5 per day. From March 15 to 31, the period when first local transmission was recorded in the entire region, a total of 9 deaths were recorded. 11 cases were recorded in April, 10 in May, 3 in June, the month with the lowest recorded COVID-19 case death in the region. Now, since October 31, DOH Davao has already recorded a total of 195 deaths in the Davao region, with new deaths recorded on that day. Based on the breakdown of cases per province, the city in the region, Davao City, has the most number of C-19 deaths with 164, followed by Davao del Sur with 13, Davao del Norte with 10. Both Davao Oriental and Davao de Oro recorded 3 deaths each, and Davao Occidental with 2. DOH Davao said in a press release dated October 31, of the 191 COVID-19 fatalities recorded in the region as of October 30, 37% are aged 60 years old and above. Of the 191 reported deaths, 132 had pre-existing health problems. The top medical issues noted amongst those deaths were kidney diseases, hypertension, diabetes mellitus, and cardiac problems. DOH Davao also noted that 54% of deaths arrived in the treatment facilities with critical health status already, while 29% were manifesting severe symptoms upon arrival. The agency said it is looking into the factors contributing to the large increase in deaths in October. DOH Davao Director Annabelle P. Yamang reminded the public to seek early consultation once they experience any symptoms of COVID-19 like fever, dry cough, tiredness, sore throat, loss of taste and smell, and a serious symptoms like difficulty of breathing or shortness of breath and chest pain. Davao region logs recorded breaking COVID-19 cases in a single day. The month of October also ended up with a record-breaking figure for Davao region as it logged a total of 223 new COVID-19 cases on October 31, the highest single day recorded cases since the first COVID-19 case was recorded in mid-March of this year. Now, this brought the total cases in the region to 5,474, with 1,369 active cases, 3,910 recoveries, and 195 deaths. According to the breakdown, Davao City has the most new cases with 170, while Davao de Oro has 1, Davao del Norte 13, Davao del Sur 28, Davao Occidental 4, and Davao Oriental 7. Different local government units in the region have already imposed stricter measures to regulate the movement of the public in order to curb the further transmission of the virus. In Davao City, which remains the COVID-19 hotspot in the region, Mayor Sara Duterte Carpio already reimposed the 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. curfew and the 24-hour liquor ban. That's right, we're still under the already imposed 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. curfew and the 24-hour liquor ban. Duterte Carpio also said there is a need to impose stricter measures, particularly on the mass gatherings and unnecessary travels and other movements, as according to medical experts, these attributed to the surge cases in Davao City. Now, the local government officially gave the link, as I stated previously, for you to secure your own QR code by November 7 of this year. The link will be provided in the descriptions of this Showtime video. So look down below where you would post your comments. In the descriptions, I will post a link there. All right, let's shift gears from Davao City News to international sports. Welcome to the Sports Zone. After raising the 2020 Stanley Cup, the Tampa Bay Lightning re-signed forward Pat Maroon and defenseman Luke Schenn to one-year contracts. The 60-game Major League Baseball season in 2020 didn't provide the usual time or opportunities to evaluate player performance, but it was long enough for some players to make big impressions on their peers. Here are the recipients of the Sporting News 2020 Major League Baseball Awards. Major League Baseball Player of the Year went to Chicago White Sox, Jose Abreu. It's not always easy to improve upon a season in which you hit 33 home runs, drove in a league-leading 123 runs, and make the All-Star team, but Jose Abreu managed to do it in 2020, albeit in truncated way. During the 60-game 2020 campaign, the White Sox first baseman led the AL in hits, 76, RBIs 60, slugging percentage of 617, and total bases 148, while finishing second in home runs with 19. Add it all up, and it's pretty easy to see why he was the overwhelming choice for the Sporting News 2020 Major League Baseball Player of the Year. National League Rookie of the Year honors went to Jake Cronenworth of the San Diego Padres. The Padres made the playoffs in 2020, thanks in part to a nice mix of veteran performers and an exciting young players. One of their biggest successes in the latter category was rookie infielder Jake Cronenworth, who contributed daily with the bat to help pace San Diego to its first postseason since 2006. The National League Comeback Player of the Year went to Daniel Bard of the Colorado Rockies. When a pitcher loses the ability to throw strikes, stays away from major league competition for 6 years, then returns to perform competitively and successfully at the age of 35, that would seem to be the perfect definition of comeback. So it was with Daniel Bard in 2020. The Rockies pitcher was the runaway winner in the voting for NL Comeback Player of the Year, receiving 37 of 85 votes cast, which was well more than twice as many as anyone else. National League Manager of the Year honors Don Mattingly of the Florida Marlins. Despite a COVID-19 outbreak that decimated his team's roster early in the season, Don Mattingly pushed the right buttons and got the most from the pieces he had to steer the Marlins to a 31-29 record, their first winning record since 2009, and a surprising postseason berth, the team's first since 2003. The Marlins did more than just that, though, as they swept the Cubs in the wild card series, but got ousted out of the playoffs after that. AL Rookie of the Year, Kyle Lewis of the Mariners. As was the case with the vote for the top NL rookie, the tally for the SN American League Rookie of the Year wasn't particularly close at all. Mariners outfielder Kyle Lewis was the easy winner in a survey of 92 AL players. He was one of the few bright spots in a bad year for Seattle, which finished below 500 for the third straight year and missed the postseason for the 19th straight season. Lewis, who led the Mariners regulars in hits with 54, 11 home runs, 34 walks, on base percentage of 364, total bases 90, was named on 55 ballots. The AL Comeback Player of the Year goes to Carlos Carrasco of the Cleveland Indians. Now, some things seem more obvious than others in players' minds. At least that was the case in the voting for AL Comeback Player of the Year. Carlos Carrasco of the Indians was the easy winner of the 2020 award, as he received 31 of 81 votes casted in that category. AL Manager of the Year honors went to Kevin Cash of the Rays. Kevin Cash has joined an exclusive club with his second straight Sporting News AL Manager of the Year award. More on that in a minute, but first the details. Cash built on the Rays' success in 2019 when Tampa Bay broke a 6-year playoff drought and guided the team to an easy division title in 2020 and the best record in the American League, 40 wins and 20 losses. Cash's exciting young squad has stayed strong in the postseason, having advanced to the ALCS, where they held a 3-1 series lead on the Astros. But then after that, it all fell apart, thus losing to the Astros in 7 games. However, the Tampa Bay skipper was the clear winner in voting amongst his peers, receiving 67% of the vote. Executive of the Year went to Rick Hahn of the White Sox. As you all know by now, also in the NBA, LeBron James led the Lakers to a 2020 NBA championship, yet are fighting off their teams in free agency. The Lakers aren't the only Los Angeles team looking to sign Rajon Rondo this offseason. Rondo is likely to decline his player option and become an unrestricted free agent. But the Lakers are interested in bringing him back as they attempt to defend their championship. They can expect competition from other suitors, including the rival Clippers, according to Mark Stein of the New York Times. While the Detroit Tigers named former Astros skipper A.J. Hinch as their new manager, while the Chicago White Sox drew a name from the past and hired Tony La Russa. The Boston Red Sox, with the only opening at present day, are thought to be in hot pursuit of their former skipper, Cora, who was also disciplined by Major League Baseball for the cheating scandal that took place in Houston. Turning our attention to the National Football League, the following teams came up winners this past weekend, Week 8 of the National Football League season. The Steelers beat the Ravens 28-24 in a slugfest. The Dolphins beat the Rams 28-17. The Chiefs throttled the Jets 35-9. The Vikings humbled the Packers 28-22. The Colts hammered the Lions 41-21. Raiders outscored the Browns 16-6. The Bengals nailed the Titans 31-20. The Bills beat the Patriots 24-20, 24-21 that is. And the Broncos outlasted the Chargers 31-30. In other NFL games, the Seahawks beat up on the 49ers 37-27. The Saints declawed the Bears 26-23. The Falcons beat the Panthers 25-17. And the Eagles pummeled the Cowboys 23-9. And that's a look at sports in the Sports Zone. And we'll be back with a final thought for Showtime right after this. And once again, a final commentary from the news desk. Please keep in mind that the city government of Davao started implementing the mandatory use of a safe Davao QR system known as the DQR among residents and non-city residents, and you must be registered by November 7th. As I stated earlier, I did put the link for you to register down in the descriptions. I'll catch you next time for another edition of Showtime. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'll catch you later.